Hi friends, this video is designed to help you feel comfortable being able to offer products that you drill the pearl and then you set it in earrings, rings, necklaces. We even have some bracelets where you can put it in some bracelets. Lots of different options of products that expands your assortment whenever you're able to drill the product and set it in there. Now, it's a very easy process, but it's also intimidating. If you don't know what you're doing, it feels like you can make a mistake and damage a customer's pearl, which is very possible. But if you know what you're doing, and if you watch this video thoroughly, you'll be completely prepared to be able to drill the pearls for customers without any risk of damaging their pearl or affecting their product. And so it'll be a great resource. So come on up here and I'm gonna walk you through the drill and all that's involved with this concept. Okay, so this is a standard drill that you would be able to purchase pretty much anywhere. You can buy a 110 volt, a 280 watt drill. That's all you need, is something that can hold your pearl drill bit and then drill it into the pearls. Now these drills come with cups to be able to set your pearl on the inside of these cups. We have 3 different pearls that we're going to show you how to do this on, 3 different sizes to allow you to feel comfortable. Now, we're going to start with the medium option of pearl. This is probably your standard pearl that you're going to see the most of, usually about cultured for about 24 months, a 7 to 8 millimeter pearl, probably a 7.25 millimeter pearl. All you do is you take the pearl and you want to inspect it. What you'll notice is that some of the sides might have a little bit of, defect on them. Like this pearl right here, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but there is a little bitty defect on that pearl. And so that's the side that you will want to be on the bottom of the pendant base. So we're going to use these small pendants here, because if you're comfortable to be able to put the pearl on a pendant of this size, you'll feel comfortable with everything. And just so you know, we will gladly send some test pearls, just some damaged pearls that we've had over the years, to allow you to feel comfortable testing on. And we'll also send some of these pendant bases so you can feel comfortable to test on these. So anyway, like I said, you want to inspect your pearl and find the side that has maybe a little scuff or some sort of defect on the pearl, because every pearl is different. They're like a snowflake. Everyone is different. They all have a little imperfection in them. And you want to point that defect toward the drill bit side. Now, whenever it comes to closing your cups to grab a hold of the pearl, you don't want to squeeze too tight, but you also want it to be nice and snug. Because pearls are organic material, if you squeeze too tight with these metal cups, it can make indentions on the side of the pearls. So you just want to give it a nice tug until you feel, comfortable that it's going to hold the pearl. Now, this tool allows you to slide the pearl back and forth to get closer to the drill bit. And the most important thing is to not drill through the pearl entirely. Customers are not okay with that, but it's no big deal if you ever do, as you can just let the customer pick out another oyster and get them another pearl. But the way that you prevent that is you have a clear picture of where you understand that you can go to on the drill bit. So for example, right here is where I want to go to in the pearl. And right here allows me to know that I won't drill through the pearl. Now, you don't turn the drill on and then hit the pearl, because if you do that, it could chip the pearl. What you do is you slide the pearl up against the drill bit, then you turn it on, and you'll see how quick this process is. And a lot of times you'll hear a boom, like almost like it hits the end of the pearl, which that indicates that you're good to go. Now we're gonna just clean this hole a little bit. Right here, this is a 1 millimeter pearl drill bit right here. Just so you know, this is a 1 millimeter. They're the standard bit that comes with pearl drills. And then what you do is you take the post and you just make sure that it fit, that you drilled the right amount. So let's say you have your pendant here, and the post, you know, some of them can be a decent measurement, you know, like they're kind of long. And let's say you try to put it into the pearl, but it doesn't go in all the way. It gets stuck because you didn't drill it far enough. We wanted to show you this pro tip on how to address that, because the most important thing is to not have your pearl go, or the drill go completely through your pearl. So it's better safe than sorry. And this is a better process than just trying to fix it on its own. So what you do is you take your pearl and you actually you attach it to the drill, and you go ahead and install it on there. Then you bring your cups up and you grab a hold of it. And the reason you do this is so that you don't end up drilling a bigger hole. And then all you do from here is just hit it again and go a little deeper. That's all there is to it. If you find yourself not drilling the hole deep enough, that's the pro tip on how to address that. Clean that off. Now we're just going to verify that the post will fit completely into. There you go. Now you see how it's flush, which is how you want it to be. So we're gonna set this one to the side and we're gonna do one more. We're gonna save the biggest for last. We're gonna do the small pearl now. So this one's the trickier one. Whenever you get a small pearl, first thing is to inspect it. You know, find if there is any defects. This one is not looking like there's any defects. This is a beautiful pearl here. Maybe a little bitty indention there, just a tiny indention, so I'm gonna use that. We're gonna tighten it, not too tight. We're gonna come up and identify where we want to stop the drill. Right here. Then we're gonna take this out. You don't wanna scratch yourself on that bit. Wipe the tip, get your pendant, slide it in there, and as you can see, this one fits perfectly flush. So we're gonna set this one to the side as well. Now we're gonna do a big pearl. Big pearls are the easiest. The main thing is to find the side that has maybe a defect or an imperfection. This side looks like the best side right here. I see a small defect right here on this pearl. So we're gonna put that on the side with the drill. Tighten it up, not too tight. We're gonna pull it up, identify where we want to put the pearl or the drill through. And then we're gonna test to make sure that the post fits on there. As you can see, it's perfectly flush. All right, now we're gonna show you how to glue this. This is a very easy process as well. So we are about to go through the process of gluing the pearl to the base of your ring, your earring, your necklace, your bracelet. The post goes through, and so all you use is super glue. Now this is the kind of super glue that we're using, but it does not matter which super glue. I have talked with 2 bench jewelers as well as a pearl company to verify that this is the standard process, and it is. You can use Gorilla Glue, you can use whatever super glue, as it is very thin and very light and works perfectly for this process. This is standard in the jewelry industry to be able to use super glue. So come on down here and we're gonna walk through this process. I'm gonna put, after I finish setting them, I'm gonna set them over here. Now, one thing that I have is I have a few pieces of just cardstock. I use some of my business cards and just rip them. Now, the reason that I did this is to absorb any excess glue. So the glue, sometimes whenever you put it at the base of the pendant, you'll notice whenever you put the pearl down, it'll kind of bleed out. Well, what you do is you use this to just absorb some of that at the base without having to use, like a cloth or something. So we have our pearl pendant here, and it's just a little pendant with a small base. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to take we do recommend to use these little hummingbird glue tips as they're very helpful to get super accurate. And you're going to put a small drip, a very, very small drip of super glue at the end of this base. So we put it on the tip and then on the base. Now you can barely see that, and that's perfectly fine. And what we're going to do is now find the hole in the pearl, and we're going to just place it onto the base and hold it right there for about 20 seconds. So this process gets it to where it's bonded to the base. Now, if you notice some glue that's bleeded around, you would just take this small piece of cardstock or whatever and just rub it at the base to just absorb the little amount of glue that might have dripped out through the sides. And like I said, about 20 seconds, and then it will be bonded to the pendant base. And now you can see you have a pendant with a pearl on it. So you would grab it to where, getting a good grip on it is very important to make sure that you have the pendant being up, the base. This is really helpful to have an area to put some of the glue down into this cup. That's very helpful. And then we put a little bit on the post here. As you see this drip, see that drip in there? Now you'll see there is super glue that's dripped out. This one will require me to use this based on the amount. Now let's go ahead and use the big pearl, since this has a little more glue on it. We use the big pearl. Now I'm gonna go ahead and capture some of that excess glue on the base. Just delicately touch that to capture some of that excess glue. And then I'm going to hold this on to this pendant base for, like I said, about 20 seconds to allow the bond to adhere to the pendant base. There you go. One more time. Hold it to where you're comfortable to be able to have the pendant base in your fingers. We're going to take a small drip, put it on the post, and then we're going to put a small amount at the base as well. You don't need much. That's the thing, is you do not need much super glue. You do not need much at all. Now this is the small one, and it also allowed some to come out. So we are going to clean that out at the base to make it to where it doesn't get glue on the pearl. That's the main thing. And then we're gonna hold it for 20 seconds. And that is the process. It is literally that simple. And so now we have 3 pendants here. And as you can see, they all look great. They all have the pearl just nicely on them. And I am pulling right now. This is stuck on there. There is no coming off. You, of course, can. It is. This is organic material, so it can break off. But that is securely attached to this base. And you have successfully learned how to drill pearls and attach it to your different jewelry.